Hit me. What do you got? Non-Monday Night Football edition.
All right. The Bijan Robinson draft pick was a great draft pick. It was one of the best draft picks in the last 100 years. It's one of the best top 10 draft picks ever made in all of history. In all seriousness, the Falcons came under heavy criticism for drafting a running back in the top 10 when they drafted Bijan Robinson. This is not good use of resources. How does this make any sense? You already have a good running back in Tyler Algier. You had a good running game last season. 2 games in, Bijan Robinson right now is 7th in the league in success rate as an individual runner. He's 2nd in the league in rushing yards, or excuse me, he's 3rd in the league in rushing yards over expectation per attempt, 2nd in the league in overall rushing yards over expectation. Danny Kelly tweeted this out. Danny Kelly of The Ringer tweeted this out earlier today. Bijan Robinson has 10 rushes with at least 4 yards after contact. That's tied for 3rd in the league right now. He also is the target rate leader among running backs in the league right now. 23% target rate. That's how many targets he gets on routes that he runs, which is 5% more than the next guy. They are using him the way that we thought the Lions might use Gibbs. They're using him the way that dual threat running backs have traditionally been used. He's not getting McCaffrey usage where he lines up in the slot and out wide and runs legitimate routes, but it's just the next step below that. In week 2 against the Packers, in what ended up being not a hugely impressive win, not a dominant win, but really quite an eye-popping victory for the Falcons. Down by 12 in the 4th quarter, not a pass-happy team, not a pass-heavy team. Are they going to be able to operate in these conditions? And they do. They come out with the 1-point win. Bijan Robinson ended the day with 172 scrimmage yards. That's 14th all-time for a player in their first 2 games. He walked into the NFL and immediately translated. And it's a huge part of why the Falcons are 2-0. Because when Tyler Algier runs the football and then Bijan Robinson runs the football, there's a very clear difference, right? And running back value gets discussed and the offensive line impact, this, that, and the other thing. When you watch the players, it's very clear which one was the top 10 pick and which one wasn't. It's very clear who has the juice, who creates these explosive plays. 29-yard catch and run, multiple runs of over 10 yards against the Packers front, breaking tackles in tight areas. He did this again in week 1 against the Panthers. He is a walking explosive play. He turns 3-yard gains into 5-yard gains, 5-yard gains into 8-yard gains, 6-yard gains into 15-yard gains. This is exactly what the Falcons thought they were buying when they took Bijan Robinson at 8. They say, we are going to be a run-heavy team anyway, so let's get a guy in here who, when we put the ball in his belly, he can go and create a legitimate gain for us. He can chunk our way down the field. Then the pass-catching stuff on top of it is great. For the Falcons to be 2-0 right now, I think a good amount of value, a good amount of credit goes to an offensive line that's playing pretty well. A good amount of credit goes to Arthur Smith in terms of the way that he's decided to build this offense. He was very analytic oriented in this game against the Packers, went for multiple 4th downs, 3 of them, all of which were nerd supported and were critical to winning. But a big part of it goes to Bijan, right? Who we always want to talk about top 20 picks at wide receiver and top 10 picks at quarterback, all the top 10 picks at edge rushers. But we all feel squirrely about top 10 running backs because we know they're not the good nerd picks, right? They're not the optimal way to build a team. But for the Falcons, Bijan Robinson has been extremely valuable over 2 weeks. Huge part of the reason why they're 2-0. Great draft pick.
So is that's the take? Is that it was a great draft pick?
That's it. Bijan is great. Yeah, I think he's the best rookie player I've seen this season. I think it was a good pick for the Falcons at 10. I think it made sense to their team philosophy, made their team better. They're 2-0 in large part because of him.
Well, Bijan Robinson's incredible. I love watching him. I look forward to hopefully watching him for the next 8 to 10 years, as long as he stays healthy. He absolutely, you're right. He just passes the eye test. And that was the case when you watched his college film and looked at him coming out. I don't think anyone had the take that Bijan Robinson isn't going to be a great player, isn't, the top running back in the class.
I do have screenshots of various people saying they wouldn't draft Bijan Robinson in the first round. Those are in my possession.
Okay, well, I think that's a different conversation. Honestly, I mean that's what I was going to say. I still pretty much believe in the if people are questioning the Falcons taking him when they did, and you're saying is that the best use of resources at 8th overall, given the state of your roster and what you want to build long term, I still think that's perfectly reasonable. Right. Even if he's the best running back in the NFL this season, next season, and the year after that. So, it's a long-term viability of the position. How many touches can a guy handle? Are you going to pay him to a top-of-the-market contract for a running back when really none of those have worked out? There are all those questions to talk about. Also, we'll see where the Falcons are at the end of the season. Do they have a quarterback? Do they have pieces on the defensive line other than signing a bunch of 30-year-olds? Do they have enough talent elsewhere? So you can I think those are still reasonable conversations. I don't know. Maybe it's just me at 12:20 in the morning on Monday night. I'm not going to get roped in to a 20-minute running back value conversation here.
I thought I had you on the
line. Maybe if we did this on a Tuesday morning or something like that,
how Sheil's just openly petitioning our bosses to let us do this podcast in the morning instead of having to do it after Monday Night Football doubleheaders.
That Saints-Panthers game got to me. That was painful.
So here, this was going to be.
So do you disagree with anything that I said there? Yeah.
Well, so this was going to be my follow-up. Let's put some names to this. Bijan Robinson went 8 overall. At 9 was Jalen Carter. I think we both agree the Falcons should have drafted Jalen Carter, but I think everybody should have drafted Jalen Carter. And B, I don't know if Carter was on their board. There was the off-field stuff. After that, I'm just going to drop some names for you. Bears at 10, Darnell Wright, offensive tackle. Titans at 11, Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle. 12, Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs. 13, Lucas Van Ness, pass rusher. 15, Jets, a pass rusher, Will McDonald. 16, Commanders, Emmanuel Forbes, a corner. 17, Patriots, Emmanuel Forbes, or Christian Gonzalez, a corner. Any one of those players you would have taken over Bijan Robinson now with 2 games worth of data?
Oh, so based on, this is a good question. All right, so based on what we know right now,
yeah.
And am I the Falcons? I'm the Falcons.
You're the GM of
right?
the Atlanta Falcons.
All right. And I can say Jalen Carter, or I can't say Jalen Carter.
I would take Jalen Carter. You would take Jalen Carter. I think everybody who's watched football so far would take Carter. Okay. He's a tricky one though, because you don't know if they passed on him because they were like,
I don't know the off-field.
Bijan matters more to us than this guy, or if it was because of the off-field stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think I could certainly make the case that Christian Gonzalez, based on what I've seen from the first 2 games, or if I'm talking about sort of long-term premium position type deal, and I have a reminder, and I can get 70% of Bijan Robinson for $2 million a year.
I don't think you can. I know that that's what the numbers say when I watch him, and I'm like
70%.
Algier's a good thumper. I mean, he's a good between the tackles, get your nose down and grind, but he ain't making cats miss.
Again, I don't want to. I'm not going to come on here as being ripping Bijan Robinson.
I make a case. I tell you right now, with the way the Falcons are built, I think I would take Bijan over Christian Gonzalez. I get down to those wide receivers, Jack Smith and Jigba, Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, who's looked incredible, Jordan Addison. I don't think I'm taking any of those guys over Bijan. I know I'm supposed to. Off of what I've seen, man, I mean, Bijan, he looks like he's what he was billed as. He looks like he's going to be immediately in the conversation for one of the best backs in the league.